Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Business of Animation podcast, the podcast that is dedicated to helping budding animation entrepreneurs create financially sustainable businesses while also maintaining personally fulfilling creative careers. My name is Cabblow, I am your host, and this is episode 7. So up till now, most of the episodes have been leaning towards the business side, making sure that we're actually thinking strategically about how to make money with your short film, or thinking about the terminology around business, or, actually trying to make, a sustainable business model and find ways to make yourself different and creative ways to enter into the market. But today's episode is actually leaning more towards the other half of the podcast, which is about having personally fulfilling creative careers. Because while it is really important that you're able to sustain yourself in animation, it's also really important that you actually care about what you're doing and that you actually enjoy it. Because at least for me, I find that I put energy and effort into things that I actually want to do. And it's a little bit harder for me to actually engage with something if I don't care, if it's not fun, and if it's just a drag. So this episode I'm really excited to share because it was my interview with Daby, who is a background painter, freelance illustrator. She's actually a qualified architect as well. And I interviewed her and spoke to her about her journey from, growing up and living in Iraq and getting all the way to Hollywood as a production designer at Warner Brothers. She works at Warner Brothers Animation right now, and some of her previous production credits include The Breadwinner, which was the cartoon saloon animation produced by Angelina Jolie, and she actually won an Annie Award being part of the production design team for that project. She's worked at Oddman, as I said, she's at Warner Brothers right now. She's done freelance projects, so you can look at her work on her website to see some of her freelance projects as well. And she was just an overall such a lovely, warm, bubbly, energetic personality to talk to. And she was actually the first person that I interviewed on the podcast. So you might hear that in my nervousness, but it's okay. We gotta live, learn, and grow. But what I really took away from my conversation with her was that she was doing something that she really loves, and she made the most of every opportunity that came her way in order to get to be part of animation. And so I hope you all enjoy her interview. I'm gonna leave all the links to her work down in the show notes or in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you are watching this on YouTube, please enjoy the artwork that I'm going to have on screen. And, follow Daby after you listen to this episode. You can find her on Instagram. She shares her handle, and of course, it's linked below. But otherwise, no more delays. That's it for my introduction. Enjoy the interview, and I will see you guys, or talk to you guys rather, on the other side. So thank you so much, Daby, for agreeing to be part of the podcast. And just talking with you before the recording, I've already seen you have such a lovely, bubbly personality. So I think we're going to have a good time talking together.
Thank you. I feel so comfortable talking to you too. And thanks for inviting me and hosting me. I feel so important.
Oh, thank you so much. I think just for everyone who's listening, it would be nice to hear kind of like a quick introduction from you, and then we'll get into the meat of the podcast.
Sure. So my name is Daby as a nickname, but the professional name Zainab Faidhi. And I'm from Iraq originally, but now I live in LA, Los Angeles in California. I've been here for 4 years. I'm an artist. I work in animation at the moment, but I graduated from architecture since ages ago, 2008, or I can't remember the year exactly. But yeah, I came from a architecture background, and I ended up in animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, did you watch you said the Breadwinner, so
I
did you like?
did. I did. You know how representation is like so important right now.
Mhm.
Watching The Breadwinner and seeing the story of a little Muslim girl and what she has to go through, I realized I never see stories like this ever, you know. So I
Yeah.
would love to hear your experience working on it, and obviously, you know, the awards that you had with it and all of that. I would love to hear that experience. I mean, I've got it kind of later in the episode, but you can, if you want to talk about it now, it's no problem.
Yeah, we can talk about it. Why not? The film. I agree with you. It's brought a very serious story and highlights the a subject in the world in a nice fun way, and that everyone can take it with how to say, like my English is not that perfect, so
Oh no,
excuse me for
oh no worries.
and especially sitting in a pandemic, not talking that much, just sitting in front of the camera and computer, I mean, and yeah, so I'm gonna, like, I need something to warm up.
Mm,
The film is has a very serious dramatic subject, but the studio, they made it in Ireland Cartoon Saloon. Of course, they are amazing, and they succeed in. Their power is to bring any subject in the world, no matter how difficult it is,
mm,
and make it so so easy, light, and a heart, a jolly heart, uplifting,
mm, mm.
an amusing way, and in an illustrative picture,
Yeah.
and in an illustrative style. So I enjoyed working with them. I was lucky to start from the early stage of the film, from the development, visual development, and that includes research. They had an amazing job on um, in, in, um, implying or
Mm-hmm.
reflecting
Mm-hmm.
the culture very well, and they did a tremendous amount of research by having interviews with people from Afghanistan, not only artists, but like in every part of the film, they did a research by interviewing a person specialized
Oh wow.
in that media. Yes, in that part. So so when I came in, I help also for research, and especially I'm from the same kind of backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Iraq, it's kind of similar to Afghanistan in the, and especially my mother is from Uzbekistan, so I kind of know some of the kits or
Mm,
tools they used they use in daily life, in the
mm,
culture, of course. So when I did research, I worked on part of designing the props. I was the
mm,
prop designer for the film, so it was easy for me to find for example, the dish, the spoon, type of that carpet on the wall, paste, call it tapestry.
mm-hmm. Yes, yes, tapestry,
Yeah,
yes.
tapestry. Yeah, and yeah. So all these details, it was easy for me to find it out right away.
Mm,
That's the easy part. So back to the early stages of the development. So that's also, I did location design. Also was easy for me to find location in Afghanistan. Especially Iraq has lots of desert, not
mm.
desert, but more of a uh, deserty, empty
Like
locations.
open,
That's
yeah.
yeah, like old and destroyed, and because
Yes.
of the war, so it has the same damage. Afghanistan and Iraq has the same environment.
So that's quite interesting. It makes me think, if they didn't have you and your specific background, maybe the film would have had different details, or wouldn't have had like such a deep understanding of the actual world of the story and the characters and how they live. Maybe without you being part of the team, they might have missed those sorts of details.
That's a lot of credits to be handed to me. I think they are amazing in finding right people, and even without hiring people from our culture, from the same culture, they have the eye and the taste, and they know what to put in the film that relate to that culture specifically. But I was me and the director Reza. His name is Reza Rayahi. I can't spell his last name, but he was from Iran, and he also had a lot of input as well, and our art director also, Kiran. He's amazing. The film has two worlds, the real world and
Yes.
the dream world. So there is art director, two art directors for real world and for dream world, and I worked on the real world to help in design the locations. That's in the concept part, early stage of the film, but then we moved to background painting. I worked on the background paintings. There's a lot. There's a big team, so it's easy to mimic and unify the work to see other references. We have lots of references, and we sit in the studio, we sit next to each other. So it feels like everyone looks at each other work, and you can cheat. Or you can take advices, or it's very friendly environment, and you don't feel like you're under pressure, or there is if you don't deliver the work perfectly, you will be like punished or something. No, it's all collaborating, friendly environment that has lots of constant meetings. So there's no way to make mistakes because of the communication, easy way of communication between. Even the director Noura told me, she's the head of she's the master of the film. Of course, she worked, she directed it, and she's my idol. Because she struggled her health during the film, but she managed to complete the film, and she was among us. She was sitting in the same room. So seeing your boss sitting next to you and work as much harder than you will feel super motivated, and you want to be like her, and you want to she's empowering. So that's to be honest, that's what I miss in that studio, working closely to the boss, and learn so much. I learned so much, and I'm so grateful for that studio. And so when the film finished, it's of course it changed my life as well, and helped me when I moved to America, helped me in finding a job, and everyone loved the film, and so it's a very nice, amazing first experience in my animation career. So I was lucky.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that, and also sharing about the director, who's a woman, and how the way she worked with you made everyone feel like they're part of the team, but also that she's leading everyone to get almost like she's an equal, even though she's leading the team. So that's very inspiring. I want to go back a little bit and just talk about where your interest in illustration and animation and architecture, where it comes from, and how did you get started?
Sure, sure. But can we go back to the question where I talk about animation? I'm sorry
Sure,
to
sure, sure,
yeah,
sure, we
yeah.
can.
Yeah, you asked me about the which film, the latest animated film or series I watched. I don't follow I told you I don't follow every single latest animation, but the latest one, I was so curious, and everyone was waiting for that film to be on the screen. But shame there is no theater to watch it on big screen. There is only the small.
Yeah.
The film was Soul,
Oh,
the Pixar one.
yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. The story is so complicated, and I'm impressed, and everyone impressed by how they managed. Pixar, of course, they are amazing in telling stories, and how they tell the story visually. Very complicated story about spirituality and finding your path, and so it's made every artist. They gave him the easy job to give an advice for anyone, any small adult want to find their way. We're gonna tell them, go watch Soul,
Soul.
and you will get it.
Oh my God. I would love to watch it. We don't have Disney Plus yet in South Africa, so I'm like waiting eagerly to watch it.
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
have to.
yeah.
Yeah.
So your background and how you got interested in animation. Please take us through that.
Okay. Ooh, long story. Go back to the when I was how old was I? The first uh, memory of me drawing is like really young, before attending the kindergarten, maybe something like that. How old? It's supposed to be in kindergarten, 5 years old, something like that, 5, 4. So I was like scribbling, doodling all over the walls, and then I draw something. It looks like really 3D. So I imagine it, and I was impressed. What? This is, and it was a lemon. So it's lemon, and I draw it, but accidentally. But I imagine it lemon. There is a game when someone draws random stuff, and then they try to make a form or a shape or
Oh yes, yes,
out of it. So
yes.
it's like it's a good exercise to train yourself, your imagination, your drawing skills. So that was in me as a kid, 4 years old kid, doing this, and then imagine it, and then I was impressed. But but then I can't remember this has happened after or before I discovered my talent. I think my sister okay, I grow up in a family. We're all interested in art. My father is an architect. My uncle is an artist in Paris. He studied in Gobelin, the animation studio.
Yes,
But
yes.
he couldn't run it, and he didn't like animation, and he dropped the school, and he became a fine artist, just to draw classic paintings and still images, instead of animated. So I didn't know he joined that school until I joined the school in London. That's funny. Anyway, so I grew up in a really artistic family. But my mom, she's the only one. She's not practicing art, but she has a really good sense and taste and art in her soul. So I felt this creative environment helped me so much and influenced me so much. And it came as a nature for me, without trying to find or discover it's something I need to be good at. It's just it's in the family, in my blood. So I my sister was drawing one day, and I was impressed, or felt jealous, like how amazing this drawing is. She's good. So I held the pen and the color pencil, and then start just drawing, copying her drawing. But actually, I did it better, and I was also impressed. Like, what? I have it. What? I have a talent. So I fell in love in that moment. So when a child discovers that he's very good in something, he can. That's will keep the child go and continue, and the power of keep impressing people. Look, and people say, wow, that's what kept me going, and fall in love in art, in drawing more, day after day and after day. And it's drawing is like a little plant. You keep watering it, and it will grow with your the tree in you will grow by age, by practicing. And so I was drawing since then. Since I was 4 years old, I was drawing almost every day. And then the war happened in Baghdad, the first war, and I was 6 years old, 8 years old, something, or younger, can't remember exactly. But that's helped me a lot also when there is no entertainment in anywhere. It's like pandemic, like here. Like you stay at home, but there, imagine staying home, no electricity, no power, no TV, nothing at all, just being with your family. And you have to entertain yourself, find a way to keep you going as a child. And with a candlelight, so I was like putting the candlelights, I start draw anything. That's I found it very, very relieving that time. And then I did my first solo exhibition. We invited everybody, the family, and everyone bought a painting. I was 8 years old.
Nice. That's so lovely that your family supported you so young. And I relate so much to what you're saying about, your drawing, but it entertains you. In South Africa, we also often have power cuts and all of that. But because I'm an only child, I used to draw for fun, just to keep myself entertained, because I didn't have brothers and sisters to play with me. So I relate to the drawing to entertain yourself.
A long life companion. It's your friend.
Yes.
And when it's your friend when you're a kid, and then it's your baby when you're a adult. It's if someone in your life come and doesn't respect your baby, like no.
That's so true. So after your family, you do an exhibition and your family buys your drawings, what happens after that?
Yeah, and after that, I became the popular at school. Like I'm the artist of the school, and so I gained the label, the title of artist everywhere. So that's a responsibility for me. I had to protect it, and but I know when I finished my primary school and get to college, I would go to architecture because of my dad, and because there is no other option to study something related to art. Just the closest thing is architecture, and that's in Baghdad and Iraq. So I had I didn't have any second thoughts about what to study. But once I completed school and studied architecture, I was shocked. I was like, is that really what I want to do? It was boring. It's not boring. It has fun. I enjoyed anything related to design, to perspective drawing. There is a subject where you can learn how to use a different medium and presentation to make a painting to present your artwork, your work in architecture, like using watercolor or acrylic or anything like that. So that's the part I was enjoying, but the mechanical part and the engineering part, I was like bored as hell, bored. So, and my brain didn't function with that side. It's like can't understand what they're saying. So I kept failing, especially in a subject called C++ or for computer, anything programming. So I kept failing. Anyway, so I studied the architecture. I finished it. I worked in the field, and then I found myself enjoying or making art about architecture. So that had a big influence. Architecture had a big influence on my art. I fell in love in architecture, in the how the building looks like, what's the school, what the trends or the eras of architecture, like for example Art Nouveau, Art Deco, the Bauhaus, all these eras. I loved it. I loved the philosophy of the architecture. I loved how it gives you the foundation and basics, and how to look deeper layers into beyond just making a pretty image. That the psychology of the designing a space, and how to the relationship between the scale between the person and the building, the car. So this gave me like so much in my art. It's like honing the skills. After I graduated, I worked in helping in design and in doing also perspectives. But I missed. There's something missing in the what I was doing, and something kept calling me deep inside, saying, "No, this is not my purpose, and not the thing I want to keep doing in my future." On that, I was lost in that phase. But then I had a good friend. I still have her as a friend, of course. She had a good influence on me by saying, "You should draw more. You should draw more." By like, because when I worked in architecture, I stopped kind of working drawing as an artist, become more functional practical, like working. And my friend was like saying, "No, you should draw more of more comic stuff, characters." And because when that's in school, when we are at lectures, I used to make jokes about every teacher, every tutor, every person, so I was making jokes in my drawings, and that's what I missed in after graduating. I want something has a story, and more creative, more not realistic, not rigid, something that doesn't belong to this world.
So how did you settle on animation, and how did you transition from working as an architect to now working as a concept artist and background painter in animation and in America?
Yeah, I'll tell you. When I was studying architecture, I was making jokes sometimes about animation, like, "Oh my God, my dream is to reach Disney, and even if I draw a butterfly with designing a butterfly to Disney, that would be enough for me." So we were making jokes. It wasn't in my head that to study animation, to go, because it's way far away, and that was in Jordan. After war, we moved to Jordan and I completed the architecture in Jordan. And also in Jordan, there is no reference for animation or jobs in this field. The only field related to kind of moving image is graphic design and advertisement. So people who ever want to study that go to work in advertisement. And this is for me is like, no, impossible. I studied architecture. I won't go to work in advertisement. But I was making jokes about animation, like, oh my God, because I love cartoon and it was my, really has influence in me as a child. The cartoon, we grow up watching, having only 1 hour a day in TV. They broadcast cartoon, and we all leave everything when this happens, 6 p.m. Every day, wherever we were doing outside, playing in the streets. Oh, cartoon started, and we leave everything and we hurry up and sit at the front and having our favorite food dish.
Yeah.
So that's the time I miss like missing for a special hour. And so so when I was in architecture, we were making jokes about animation, and then it happened. It's like, these are signs. Sometimes you say stuff that you don't mention, but you're talking about your future, but without noticing, it's gonna be reality. So be careful what you wish for sometimes. So after I was in a lost phase in my life, and I had the encouragement from my friend to go back and draw. I started to draw for advertisement, to do storyboards for them. That's opened another door for me to do illustrations for children books. And that's when I was more interested in knowing about being curious about people and their characters and the personalities, and how to reflect that in the drawing and all that. So I was more into people in my drawing. So I was looking for something to help me improve that part in my drawing. And beside that, I was so under pressure from the society. I was living in the Middle East, and I want to go out and explore life and have freedom. I was living with my parents, and at the age of till the age of 29. So it was like that you cannot explore and test yourself and your personality. So art was also helped me to discover my personality. I discovered my personality through art. That's what I want to say.
Okay. When you say pressure, what kind of pressure?
Yeah, pressure on women in general. And living in the Middle East, you don't have that much of like go and live by yourself or be independent, or people will keep judging you, or when are you getting married, and where's your kid?
Yeah.
Like this type of pressure, you know. Well, me, I wasn't ready. I was just want to explore my limit, my strength, my life. There's so many sides in life to explore than just having a family. I know I'm gonna have family one day, but yeah. But anyway, so that the pressure helped me also to look for ways, and having an art in me, it's amazing excuse to help me find the next stage in my life. So I was looking for a school to go to London, to study in London, and I knew studying is the only way I I can improve my to learn more, because we had little references, materials about art in the Middle East. So I wanted to go also to London, and so I found a course talking about characters and psychology of the characters and acting and all that. I was really like interested, but I didn't know that school is about animation and you do a film. So it's all not, I wasn't planning, but like following my heart. It's like it's all fell in the right place. So I found this school and I moved, applied, and I got accepted, and I went to school in 2013. And yeah, studied animation. I discovered this is an animation school. Okay, and then, so now I'm gonna do a film. Now I can work in studios like Disney and stuff. So I was like knowing about this reality step little by little. It has a kind of a pleasure for me. And yeah, and through the study, I improved so much that I knew that I'm gonna focus on location design. I carried the architecture, love for architecture, and put it in my art, and also putting the storytelling within the illustration or within the concept art I do. So and then I finished school. I was. Shall I continue or?
Yes, continue.
I'm talking so much, right?
No, it's okay. I was going to ask, what is the name of the school, just in case people want to go there?
Yeah, the school is Central St. Martin's in London. It's basically for mainly for fashion design and design in general, like but animation, they have a small section, and their animation department, most of storytelling base is not the technique, the technical part is not the yeah, it's just master 2 years course. It's a perfect amount short amount to grab as much information in an intense way, and then you go and find your own way, or
your own path afterwards. So once you were finished there, did you manage to get a job in animation, or were you freelance right away? How did that work?
Yeah, I was freelancing while studying. I was freelancing on a children book for Middle East. So that's
yes.
That's the part. Freelancing is part of my life all the time. Yeah, when I was at school, nearly finishing the school, I was panicking about my visa gonna end, student visa, and I'm gonna go back to home, and I didn't want that because I felt deep inside the journey it just begun, and there is longer path. I need to climb that mountain, and I want to reach, and I want to do this and that, and want to meet other people, creative people, and learn from them. So I had this urge, and I was hungry. I was hungry for working, producing, and have this energy. So the word heard this kind of thing and helped me without even me looking so much. I was trying. I had the internship between the courses in internship in Aardman, Studio Aardman. If you know,
the stop motion studio. Yes.
Stop motion studio. So when they're just for it's really short period. I was a runner there, just collecting the mugs and running around the studios. So I said yes, but but I just want to see people and make connection. So I took this offer, and then I managed to find set designer. He's an architect as well. I can't remember his name. I think Pete Perry, something like that. And we were talking, and he was designing the sets. All they are building the sets, and I love building stuff, and I think relate to architecture, of course. So I was like, please, I want to help, give me. So he gave me this mountings on the Shaun the Sheep film, so 2, the movie, Shaun the Sheep 2. So the big mountain, the end of the film, they reached the cliff of the mountain. They fell there or something like that. So that's the one I designed. I cut it, and I used the material. There's certain materials they taught me how to use a foam cutter, and they spray it with something, so you don't have that little bits flying all over you. Yeah, so I enjoyed that experience. So so it's okay to accept any offer, just in the right place. You will you have to know when is the good opportunity comes. So I took this opportunity. That helped me as well in finding in finding the job, of course. So nearly at the end of my graduation, I was panicking, and I was trying to apply to all the studios in London, but most of the studios, they either take 3D people. I'm a 2D animator, artist, but they either take 3D or more than 2 years experience, or they are advertising. You have to work in advertising for you have to have 2 years experience. So it's like limited option. So the only thing I found through a friend of mine who saw an ad from that studio, Cartoon Saloon, in Ireland, but it was in Ireland, and I wanted desperately to stay in London. That was my goal. I fell in love with London. But I said, oh my God, this is an amazing opportunity. It's about a film, Afghanistan, and they want concept artists. So this is perfect. This is kind of a universe like telling me this is your place here. So I wrote the email, friend helped me, and I sent my portfolio. And I received the response that within hours, few hours.
Wow.
The next day saying, oh, we love your work. We are interested, but we only give you internship. Do you agree or not? I said, yes, I'm gonna take it. Yes, of course. So I took these opportunities before I was doing my graduation project. So I took this opportunity. I finished deliver the graduation project. Meanwhile, I was working on my visa to Ireland, and it was like, oh my God, so much to deal with the paperwork. And so I managed to go to Ireland before graduating. So I took the job. I stayed there for three months as an intern, and it was amazing learning experience. And it was my first experience in animation studio. I didn't know anything about the pipeline, how film can be made. They were amazing in teaching and have the patience, and they see if the person have talent, they can give him or her a chance. So I was like was so blessed, and from there I finished 3 months, and then I got hired after the 3 months, and going from visa. So I can't remember how many types of visa I changed, from students to intern to short term to resident to full resident. So many. So I was like going back and forth to the embassies, because I'm from Iraq and have an Iraqi passport. So it's so difficult. But anyway, I managed at the end to have 3 years or 2 years, or even more, I think, residency in Ireland. And and I was happy in career, but deep down I was like also something missing in my in me, like saying I'm not in peace. I'm in a very peaceful land, green and calm, and everyone is so focused, and the studio is doing amazing job worldwide, and but I was like trying not in peace. When you're in a calm situation, it's a calm, like physical place, mentally you're not calm. Everything, all the ideas and dark ideas start coming into your head. So that's like the pandemic as well. So all people now are facing the fears now, because we are quietness around us, but now not inside you, it's not quiet.
Yeah, and no distractions from busyness.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how I decided to move to Los Angeles. I wanted to find somewhere I can like be there for, I don't know, just something, and I felt like I needed change. So I moved to LA, and without knowing anybody, and but having the studios, my work in the studios is the only thing I got. And while when I moved to LA, the film released. The Breadwinner I worked on, was released. So and then after a few months, I was not allowed to work because I had to. Didn't have any green card or work permit or anything, so I had to stay for 1 year without working. So I was doing freelance to places outside America just to survive, and I was like a very limited option. I can't do anything because I'm not in a stable situation. I don't know whether to stay or not. It all depends on the visa. And Trump was in control as well, so it was really difficult. I'm a Iraqi Muslim, and yeah, so many. I was in so many like secured or unknown things that give me insecurity. Anyway, so when the film released, while there, I got nominated as the best in post production team with on my name with the team. So I was like amazed and grateful and happy, and that's what helped me going and have faith if I had any doubts back then. And then I was invited to whatever ceremonies happen in Hollywood, and then we attended the first release, the premiere of the film. Angelina Jolie was there, and I was seeing myself like, okay, there is a light in the end of the tunnel, so I can see there is hope. Not by seeing Angelina, of course.
The whole experience.
I know. Angelina is like giving you like a validation that you're in Hollywood and you can keep getting celebrities on the red carpet and stuff.
So the award helped to open the doors for you in Hollywood.
And but while during that time as well, I was working on my portfolio and making connection. So I was like using my contact in Ireland, and they refer me to other people. So I kept having meeting with random people, visiting their studios, visited not Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, visiting DreamWorks, visiting so random people, just make a connection and show them my work, and getting feedback from them. What shall I do in order to get a job, and how can I improve myself while I'm waiting for my work permit to appear? So all this, I attended CTN. It's a big,
Yes,
if you
yes.
ever heard about CTN, yeah, it's a big convention for animation where it's a perfect place to meet people and show your portfolio and get feedback, and it's and you see also seeing other people, always be exposed to other people art, so not to copy, just to be in, to see your level and to learn from them and to prove yourself. So that's what I was doing during one year, while attending, being nominated, and then the main ceremony happened, which is the Annie Awards. And the Annie Awards are like a big thing in animation award ceremony, and and that night it was like it's a dream come true, you know. It's like it's like, wow, I wish everybody can have the same experience in their life, to dress up and go, and there is a red carpet, and it's like a little Oscar for
For
animators.
animation, yeah.
And then you see people are like speaking and having a speech in the hall, and everything was amazing. Yeah. So, and that's in that night, I made connection, and I managed to, it's all in a friendly way, like we are chatting and having fun. And he's the Tom Kenny, the voice actor for SpongeBob. So we were like having fun chatting, and there were two people sitting next to him, and we got to know them through Tom Kenny. And that person appeared, we swapped business cards. He's the vice president of Warner Brothers Animation, and I held the card, and hoping one day I can use it, but my hope was like really low. I wasn't expecting anything from this guy. But after I got my work permit, I started to contact everybody and see if there's an opportunities aligned, and then I received an email from I contacted Jay Bastian, the animation vice president of animation, and he said, yeah, I'll pass your work to my coworkers, my colleagues, and see if there is an opportunity. And after 3 months, 2 months, I can't remember, I received an email from Warner Brothers saying there's an opportunities if you want to join. It was Mike Tyson mystery to work on background design, and I said yes. Oh my god, yes, of course. So I was jumping, and I remember when I got accepted, I did a test. There's no job you can get it before doing tests. So I did a test, and I got the email saying approved. And I was like, I was with my family, and I turned and said, I got the job, and everyone,
That's wonderful. And all of that kind of came together for you. Gosh, wow.
yeah. And from then, my life becomes stable, and focused more on my other things in my life, and like steady, and seeing the progress in a steady way, without panicking, without the pressure of the psychological pressure, you know, when you're not. I lived as a gypsy, just like, I'm not insulting the gypsies, but like moving around for 7 years, like trying to build, improve my art, finding ways, finding jobs, dealing with visas, and all that. But I learned tremendous information, I met amazing people, and it's a long journey, but it's still going. And I feel like now I'm in the new chapter of a new type of pressure. Is like, what's next? How can you do something that makes you stand out among all of those, even when you're stable, even when you're achieved So you reached your dream job, or you want what you wanted, always wanted, you got it. But always there is this challenge of, now what, how can I improve, what to do? And it's harder, gets harder every time. And when the more you grow and you have your other responsibilities, and now you're growing older, you have to marry, you have to get kids, you have to, but now I still want to do art.
So it's a lot of things. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I think maybe I want to ask one or two more questions, and then I think we'll wrap up. I think
Yeah.
I do wanna I loved hearing just like all the details of your journey and everything about visas and how everything kind of connects, even though like you speak and you don't know that your words are creating your reality. But I think I would like to talk about how important it was for you to kind of do the freelance while you were working towards being in animation where there's like a larger, more developed industry. Because I think that's, I'm assuming that maybe the freelance was sustaining you somehow. So I would like to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah. The freelance, it was mainly small design. Either someone wants a portrait, other one wants a birthday card, or then storyboards for advertisement company, as I mentioned, then stories, children books. It's a perfect way to take it as a test, to experiment, to play with it, because it's more flexible work, and especially it's a short term, and finish quickly, and I can manage to select, have the full control to select the style, to select. So I was testing each time I got a freelance. It's helped me, so I'm excited for freelance, and I find it a way to improve a lot. And I never say no to a project, even if I have million of projects, other fixed job, but I never say no to freelance. It's helped a lot in improving. In some part of my life, it helped me financially. Other part of my life helped me to explore, and other parts of my life helped me just to make connection and make friendship. Other part of my life helped me just to build or make a name. It's a good name. You got a project from name, good for the CV or portfolio. So it's never had to say help me.
Like it's always been a good thing. It's never been a bad thing.
Yeah. So I wanted to keep the freelance as I would say a rope or something, a string to keep holding me. And then what was also
no, just to follow up on that, how do you get those the freelance work? Do people approach you, or you
in the beginning of my career? I think when I was let's say 2024, 23, I started getting a freelance through friends, through people who recommend you. But then it's happened when I created my website. Behance was I had so many projects, freelance projects from Behance, so I highly recommend it. Lately I haven't been getting from freelance, so I don't know whether they are now off of the stage or not. But then now through my website, getting or from other project I did in the Middle East, they comes through my other projects, other books, or in Middle East, or in London, or in other parts of the world. So it's spreading. Yeah, it's like, as writer, my favorite writer said, I keep follow his advices or his talks. I forget his name. I'm so bad with remembering names. um, um, anyway, I'll tell you the name later. But he said, your job as an artist to keep imagine every project is a message in a bottle, and you keep throwing these bottles on the sea, and you don't know when and what, when it's going to come back to you, and what the response would be. Sometimes the response would be like a word of admiration. Sometimes the response would be a great opportunity, a great project you have to take. Sometimes so creating art during, even when you have nothing, no project that gives you money, just keep putting these messages in a bottle and throw them in the sea. So that's what I was doing during that my 20s and my age, and now I'm getting back these bottles with good messages.
That's actually a really good analogy to describe, like, you don't know which opportunity is going to come back, so keep throwing it out, and you don't know how big or how small. Would you say that that's some advice that you would give? Because the people who listen to this podcast, a lot of them are not in the US, but they might have aspirations to be in America like you, or to work with the big studios, even if they're working remotely, because obviously now we have COVID.
Nothing is impossible. Just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. My advices are like maybe 3 or 4 or maybe 1. Let's see. First of all, be curious. Be curious about anything, learning. Curious about the people, artists you meet in your life. Anything it's encounter in your life, it has something to learn from. So be curious. Second thing is be authentic. Saying authentic is like be original, and don't be influenced. Be influential. Don't be influenced by so many amount of art we see. We're surrounded by in social media, in the internet now, with especially when I look on Pinterest or anything, it leads me to other art, until I go crazy, like So don't be overwhelmed and do artwork just to please someone. I do recommend that if you admire a studio or admire somebody's artwork, do their style to get the job you want. That's what I did for Cartoon Saloon. It's like my style was similar to them, and I did my graduation project after I watched Song of the Sea, and I was amazed and influenced, and was the first one to clap in the theater. And I was like, oh, amazing film. So I carried some of their language in my graduation film. But that's not the one that get me the job, but my other illustrative style in my work that got me the job. But I did what they I spoke with their language in my art, but I had my signature, I had my voice, I had my, which I developed through try and error, through trying different techniques to find my which style that matched my personality. So that's the journey of an artist, is keep growing and finding, knowing yourself. You will know what to draw, and you'll know what kind of art that reflect your personality. So be authentic, do the work that satisfy you, not others. Like you are the biggest, you're your number one fan, you're the only fan of yourself and your art. So when I do children book, I don't draw what kids like. I act like a kid. I want this. Does that please me or not? Doesn't please me. So be authentic. Be do the artwork that you feel displease you, and until you said Like there's a feeling. It gives you a feeling when you draw something that I enjoy it. I love it. That's enough for me. I now I stopped doing this painting. I finish it or not, whatever. But that's the feeling. You have to listen to that feeling, and that's the originality comes from. And studios, big studios, especially in America, they feel the person is influenced by others, or he has his own voice. And that's very important. There's so many talents people around us, and it's the only way to be unique is just be yourself. And carry on, carry what's things that came into your life, carry it with you and put it in your art. Like any drama or any happy moment or any romantic situation or anything, that's what will create your signature. So that's my advice.
That's some good advice. Thank you so much for sharing your story and all the details, and being so open and friendly. And I know you say, you're not good with English, but I think you're absolutely fine, And I like the words that you choose to describe things as well. And that was my interview with Daby. Really, for me, it was just taking away that these things are not that far away, These things are not that hard to achieve, or they are that hard to achieve, but they're not that far away, you know what I mean? She started out in Iraq, and she eventually, after doing architecture, then did a program that had something to do with animation, and then eventually found herself, working on these productions like The Breadwinner, which then led her to more opportunities. And now she's in Hollywood, she's in Los Angeles. And for me, it's just to see that these things are possible. These people are not that far away. And also to grab whatever inkling of an opportunity. And I'm also Christian, so I do believe in the words that you speak creating your reality. And so just seeing that she would speak and say, I want to do animation, and she wasn't really sure that this would happen, but she eventually spoke that into reality and took the opportunities that came her way to be part of animation. So I would say for you, lean into the fact that you love animation or illustration or all of these adjacent career paths within the creative industries. Lean into that. Speak what it is that you want to do. Obviously speak it to people who actually have that same sort of belief. Don't speak it into Debbie Downers who are going to be negative about your dreams, but speak to people, share those thoughts and ideas, and when an inkling of an opportunity presents itself before you, grab it, even if it's scary. I remember I had the same thing. I got to work as a colorist on Primal, the Jendi Tartakovsky show. Sorry if I'm butchering your surname. And I remember it was on a South African animation Facebook group, like an animation essay, there we go, Facebook group, where the lead of the colorist, she was looking for South African artists who could use TV paint to then be colorists on the TV show. And I was a TV paint user, but I didn't have the professional version. Now I had the standard version at the time. And I was like, okay, I'll just bring myself forward, I'll volunteer. And I brought myself forward. I was like, hi, I'm a TV paint animator. And then they gave me a test to do for the coloring. And then I did the test, and then I got the job. And I got to work on that show for a little bit and gain the experience that I got from it. So really just whatever inkling of an opportunity that comes your way to try to do the thing that you really love, grab it. Even if it's scary, because it could lead to more and bigger and greater opportunities. And just take Daby's story, for example. Even if, you have to deal with visa troubles and work permit and all that kind of thing, it's possible. And we just heard the story of somebody who's lived through that. So why not for you? So otherwise, that's it for me. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have a beautiful day, a happy day, wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye.